I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to work and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour, take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just young downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought.
I can tell you that 7 years after Freddie Gray, that was 2015, spring, April, May. This is 2022. Communities like Sandtown, all we saw then and now in terms of investment was a renovated Western District Police Station and a new funeral home. That's what West Baltimore got. A new police station and a new funeral home. What kind of optics are they? Was Freddie Gray any different than 1968 Baltimore riots? Dr. King's passing, killing, murder? This is the same?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I think, well, first of all, people who are being violent and burning, that's, all that's the same. But the point is what was the cause and what were they attempting to register?
I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
I love you.
They deserve it now. It's
got next. And on before.
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover, in it to win it for the long haul, baby. Good morning. I hope that you are well. We've been having some challenges as of late. I'm looking psychedelic again. Okay. All right. So here we go. When you look around the city of Baltimore, it becomes very clear that we have a murder problem. The news, according to the news, there's been a lot of carjackings. Lyft drivers, can you believe that? Lyft drivers are getting ganked in the city of Baltimore. Lyft drivers, what else? Uber, what they call them, share rides. Drivers are getting stuck up, robbed. And the interesting part for me, maybe for you, is that a lot of this is happening, particularly the murders in Northeast Baltimore. Now, for the longest time, I've made a point that Northeast Baltimore ain't East Baltimore. No, Northeast Baltimore seemingly is getting worse than inner city east side. That's what it seems like. Everybody's moving to Northeast Baltimore, and maybe that's a part of the reason so many people are moving to Northeast Baltimore. But whatever the case, Northeast Baltimore is a hot zone. A lot of shootings, a lot of murders, and this carjacking thing with the Lyft drivers, Uber drivers. Who does that? And I thought in order to get a Uber or Lyft, you have to have a credit card on file. So I'm not sure how all of this is happening. I know it makes it, what they say back in elementary school, the good have to suffer with the bad. That just seems to be the case so often here in the city of Baltimore. The good have to suffer with the bad. Well, anyway, I hope that you are ready for a lot of rain. I'll take the rain over the snow any day. You know, when we were kids, we couldn't wait for the snow. But as adults, you know that snow presents a lot of challenges, slows down everything. And that's one thing about Baltimore City. No matter what, at least in my community, snow ain't gonna stop people. Before you wake up, somebody done already started walking through the snow. I guess it's kind of like people don't go to sleep around here, but we do sleep sometimes. Got to monitor a lot of vagrants in our communities, people walking through with no clear destination, nowhere to call home. And I tell you, you know, they brought it out about these 3 firefighters and these vacant houses that, what was the number? Over half, I think they said 1,800 of the 3,000 fires over a certain period of time were vacants. And it just seems to me, you know, when people run for mayor, you know, I thought these people who run for mayor, I remember Catherine Pugh talked about the vacant properties. And I would figure after 3 firefighters got killed and 1 injured, that there would be like a task force on vacant houses. And you can't say you don't have the money, you got money. What are we doing? What are we doing, Baltimore? What are we doing? What are we voting for these days? This is a majority Black town where Black politicians tend to have the advantage. But you know, I think it's time we start looking at the caliber of our leaders. Are some of these people capable of leading? Because it's got to be more than just stump speeches. A stump speech talking about a city with what, 600,000 people? Can you really blame Fox? Not my favorite network. I mean, every time I turn on Fox, is some very hateful, racist news, very racist. I've never met Isabel Cummings in person, I don't think, but I know last week they were talking about some accomplishments she made, or somebody did a report on Isabel Cummings, and she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. They said that right there on Fox. They might as well said the lady is a god. But as soon as they mention Brandon Scott, they never, ever say anything good about Brandon. And it makes you wonder, as a Black person, yes, is Fox racist? And I have the tendency to think so, yes. Always wonder how those Black reporters feel over there at Fox. They never get to say anything positive about their people. I could not do Kai Jackson's job, ever. And his job is to just, how can you go to work every day when you know your #1 job is to talk about Black people? Up until now, Brandon hadn't made any mistakes. None worth remembering. Nice person, nice guy. Takes a heck of an ego to be a mayor. When you got to believe in yourself when a lot of people are throwing darts at you. But somebody voted for Brandon Scott. Although I question the past 3 elections in Baltimore. I think Baltimore's a gangster town. They call it Mob City. Remember, the city paper had a column. Was it Mob Town Beat? Mob Town. I really do think we can do better than this. Often people have, you know, pushed me and say, hey, Donnie, you should run for office. No way, Jose. No, thank you. I'm just starting to like me. I don't want to get out there. Next day, you know, you got the sandpaper chasing you around. I'm from North Avenue. You let Mackenzie Frost come this way. This is the answer. And if you don't like it, leave. So I can relate. And I think Brandon has done a good job keeping that jab on her. But every day, it's like Fox's job in their minds is to assassinate the character of Black elected officials every single day. And so that's why we have the Unnews. Our station, blackusa.news. What the heck just happened? I'm sorry about that. That's the new card. We have the Unnews to add some perspective and some sanity to what we think, hear, and feel about our fine city. There was, back during the Catherine Pugh administration, a donor. His name was J.P. Grant. And when her scandal went down, it was revealed that J.P. Grant had, you know, some deals involved and money, and J.P. Grant's name just got dragged through the mud. Wasn't his first time, almost like he's used to it or expects it. I don't know, but it doesn't look good. I think I've met J.P. Grant or saw him in a scenario once. Pretty certain he knows who I am. Saw me look the other way. Why keep doing this, J.P. Grant? I don't get why, if you got all of these marks against you, why do you keep, you know, and then the $5,000 donation, multi-million-dollar conduit deal. The timing, horrible. What did you expect? Brandon, why'd you take the money? $5,000, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Remember that song by Patti LaBelle? If you don't know me by now, you know the song. You will never, never know me. They say a leopard doesn't change his spots, a tiger doesn't change his stripes. But $5,000 is not worth the scrutiny. I mean, man, what are we thinking? Are we thinking at all? I mean, do they think that people are just stupid and just going to let you do what you want to do? I figured after Catherine Pugh that J.P. Grant wouldn't be allowed to do business with the city of Baltimore anymore. Like, dude, you need a timeout. Your name keeps popping up in the middle of stuff. Not good. Just not good. And it's stupid. And it makes Black people look stupid. We look bad. We're trying to look good. Trying to do good. Why are we? What kind of foolishness is this? Makes absolutely no sense. I mean, you already got the top spot, $5,000. Is that going to make or break your campaign? Doesn't look good. And if I'm running for mayor, I'm going to run with that all the way down the field. So then you got one candidate saying you're dirtier than me. And that's what we get in Baltimore, as opposed to someone with unique ideas, fresh perspectives. I talked to a Reverend Hudson yesterday. Actually, I talked to a few people. First, I called Vinny DeMarco. Vinny DeMarco is one person I've always admired. He has about 20,000 phone numbers. I think I got about 9,000, but Vinny's been doing it longer than me. He is older than me, but a wonderful person. First met him with Bishop Doug Miles' wife, Rosanna Miles. And we worked on some health campaigns together. I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate freelance work I was afforded, but also appreciate the relationships that were grown. Anyway, I called Mr. Vinny DeMarco up yesterday and told him that sports betting has generated $186 million in 9 days. They reported this on the news. And for me, it's disgusting. It's disgusting because going back to 1973, it's not like I haven't said it on this show before. Going back to 1973, they promised money from gambling, from the lottery. They promised money for education. And it's all a damn joke. They lie to us. Democrats lie to us all day long. So I'm not mad when the Republicans get an advantage in the state of Maryland, because then and only then do we seem to get some type of accountability. Yeah, they call Hogan the devil. I get it. But you ain't going to call Martin O'Malley no angel in my book because he locked up. Too many black people. Way too many. Zero tolerance. Ridiculous. Locking people up for urinating, sitting on their own front steps. I remember a cop during zero tolerance telling my daddy to get the F off the avenue. See how long that zero tolerance lasted, and you see how far it took O'Malley's political career. Everybody want, we mad and we want to be governor. We mad, we want to be the congressman. We mad, we want to be Senate. Let me tell you something. Fox want to do something with term limits? Take it over to the U.S. Senate. That's where you need the damn term limits. Messing with these local politicians like they control something. Take term limits to the U.S. Senate. Because damn, if I ain't tired of seeing these old white men who are filthy rich, making money, saying the same old, kicking the ball back and forth to each other. That's what the term limits need to be. You do Senate term is 6 years. Okay, give them 2 terms, 3 terms. You would fix America overnight, because then you get rid of the multimillionaire senators. I don't think a senator ought to be a multimillionaire. I just don't. Or if you got multimillionaires, you should have people who are not multimillionaires. And then you would get some real democracy. We say we're a democracy, but we're really about that paper. America is about that paper. And unfortunately, black people have bought into it a little too much, in my estimation. Traditionally, we have conservative values. Traditionally. Don't lie, don't steal, work hard, save your money. Only problem with the Republicans is the privilege. The privilege, the entitlement, where they're supposed to eat, nobody else is supposed to eat. That's the problem. Democrats' problem is it's a long line, and black people make a big part of that line, but black people don't make up a big part of the beneficiaries. Throw you a block of cheese, some crackers, but not real empowerment. Real empowerment is business. This is America. Just said it. It's a capitalist society. Got to have business. That's why we push black business. And maybe one day we'll get some national prominence for it, but we've been pushing Black Wall Street for quite a long time. We want to inspire entrepreneurship, especially through the pandemic and COVID. More and more people have started their own businesses, and some have become very successful. I've watched one young black lady. She started the official Black Wall Street, and she has turned that app into, she got like 1 million followers. Doing a great job. That's the challenge, I think, in the black community. We want to fit in. We want to be liked. But in all of that fitting in, we lose a part of ourselves. We lose a part of our heritage. We lose a part of who we really are, trying to fit into America. I mean, we may as well just advocate for our daughters being strippers, because As long as they bring home the money, who cares? What else did I want to say? Ted Carter. I talked with some people who were at City Hall, and I just couldn't believe. I've met Ted Carter, nice guy. Never really had a full conversation after the election. He seemed too busy to really have a conversation. And I guess that's the part of the nuances of what happens at City Hall after you win. All of the crap that you talk, we're going to work together, all that goes out the window, and you get to see who people really are. But anyway, they bumped him, and it was for sexual harassment. Now, someone in his defense said it was not sexual harassment. It was actually age discrimination. Interesting. One politician suggested that Ted Carter was bringing old school values to City Hall, and the younger generational leaders at City Hall were not tolerant of it. And we'd love to get more. Please come and hit us up. Let us know your take on it. As a matter of fact, this politician said that Ted Carter was the best in terms of economic development that the city of Baltimore ever had. We'll never know because he's no longer in that position. It's just not an easy thing in politics. It's just so many balls to juggle all at one time. And in retrospect, it makes you really appreciate, in my estimation, the administration of a Kurt L. Schmoke. The timing was great. Bill Clinton was the president. Schmoke was the mayor. Dan Henson had to hook up with the feds, Department of Housing and Urban Development. And lo and behold, a $100 million federally funded empowerment zone came to the city of Baltimore. 2 village centers in East Baltimore, 4 over here in West Baltimore. And there was an infusion of money to help create jobs, to help people buy homes, and to help people expand businesses. And that's when we started our business, because I live right here in Sandtown, Winchester. And this was a part of that. We had the self-motivated Community People's Village Center. To the north was Greater Mondawmin, to the south, Poppleton, and all the way down the bottom, Washington Village. Over in East Baltimore, you had East Harbor, Clara Butler, and historic East Baltimore Community Action Coalition with Dr. Marie Washington and company. As a matter of fact, we're over in East Baltimore tonight. Be More News is helping to sponsor the 18 awardees for the Joe Mann's Black Wall Street Award. It goes down tonight, 7 o'clock, over at 800 North Wolf Street. They call it Eagle Park, big old hotel. Black man built it, Ron Lipscomb. I think that was Sheila Dixon's former lover. He has this big old hotel over there, really nice rooftop. So here we are in the city of Baltimore, trying to make sense out of this madness. Meanwhile, the children are looking at us, and we failed them. We have $186 million in 9 days from sports gambling, yet we have classrooms without heat and air. We've failed these children, and no wonder they are so bitter. And they show us every day. They show us every day what happens when we don't properly invest in our children. We also see what happens when we don't properly parent our children. I'm sorry for the young man that got life. I'm even sorry for the mother of the Naval Academy midshipman who was killed because this young man was on a mission, and his mother said, "Not my baby." We hear that a lot in the city of Baltimore. It wasn't my baby, not my baby. The witnesses and everything else, and he's got life. He will never see the streets again. Was it worth it? As the son of a film director, I've never really cared for guns because it's permanent. I've saw too many dead people. Dead is dead. Ain't no I'm sorry. Ain't no apologies. They're dead. Dead is dead. They ain't laying up on that slab. Dead. It's over. but we take life without, we just shooting people living in a video, a fantasy, and we're troubled. We're very troubled. A big thing is reconnecting these young people with their fathers. If their fathers are locked up, strung out, incarcerated, disassociated, wherever their fathers are, I would make it a mission to reconnect as many of these young people to their fathers. That's what's going on. Fatherlessness. This is the fatherlessness generation. I saw it in my generation. It's even worse today. So people got to slow down who they having sex with. Slow down. Everybody's in a rush. Everybody want to date them all, sis. But this is the end result of date them all, sis. Date them all, bruh. Listen to the music. My only question is, after you sold all the dope, made all of the money, had sex with all of the women, look at your community. I shared with you before, I saw a young man touting his cocaine, heroin, and he was standing there like a predator because addicts come up all the time on the avenue. What a life. I hope you're proud of yourself. You're playing with someone's addiction. And that sports gambling is an addiction. We're going to be doing some work. We're going to have a 1-800-GAMBLERS number up here, because with all of the sports, and let me say something. I said it earlier this week. Jamie Foxx and Kevin Garnett, dude, you got money. Why are you pushing sports gambling on our community? This is what happens when black people make too much damn money and think they represent black people. We don't need that. We don't need anybody pushing another damn addiction on our community. I don't care who you are. And that's the thing. We get so caught up. Oh, this is so-and-so. On that note, and I didn't know the young man. I didn't really don't watch the Ellen show. I've peeped it here and there. I know she did some things for Rennie Bass, but their DJ, I mean, it's all over Facebook this morning. How he, committed suicide, and it's a reminder. Suicide hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Karen Baines put this up. Karen Banfield Evans put this up this morning. Suicide hotline, 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. Suicide hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Suicide hotline, 1-800-273-8255. This young DJ, whatever was going on in this world, and we've seen it. It's happened in my family. I hope it hasn't happened in yours. Life can be a bit much. And this young man was, 40 years old? You never know what people are going through. And so it's a reminder to me, don't look at somebody else's life and wish you want to be them. I want to be me. You want to be you. You don't want to be nobody else. You want to be you. I was a little kid. I wish I could sing like Michael Jackson, probably like a lot of other kids. But I knew at a young age my voice was too deep. Mike would hit them high notes. I wasn't hitting them notes. No, I don't want to be Michael Jackson. Everybody want to be a celebrity. Do you really? Do you really want to be a celebrity? Do you really want to be Taylor Swift? Do you really want to be Bill Cosby? Be yourself. We should be proud just to be ourselves. Thank God I'm me. We can learn from other people. We can emulate things. We can learn from their accomplishments and take this piece here and take that from there. But I'm reminded we better be ourselves and thank God for ourselves. You don't want to be nobody. You want to be you. You're already unique. But the world just beats you up, makes you think you don't have enough hair. You don't look good enough. You don't have enough money in the bank account. None of that. All of that is irrelevant if you're dead and in that hole. You got goals. You got things you want to accomplish. Take your time, brick by brick. I told you before, here's a plan. You ready for the plan? Write down the goal. Write it down, the goal. Write down what your goal is. Write down the steps you got to do to get there. Steps 1, steps 2, 3, 4. And it's not a plan until you put a date on it. You want to get this done by the 23rd of December. Now that's a plan. That's how you do a plan. The goal, the steps to get there, and a deadline. And everything's going to be all right. Hope you tune into some good music. Make sure you're listening to good music all through the holidays. Remember, seasonal depression is real. Many people suffer from it. I think it goes from Halloween all the way to Valentine's Day, but keep it simple. Keep it simple. Lady very dear to me. She says she's going to have a Christmas for a grandbaby like her parents had for her. To each their own. Keep it simple. I tell you what, little babies like playing with paper and boxes, not near toy. So more than anything, Christmas is quite often for women. A lot of men can't wait for it to be over. A neighbor across the alley has Christmas lights on, Christmas tree, beautiful Christmas tree. Now they run them Christmas lights all night. I know, because I see them. So be safe with your Christmas tree and your Christmas lights and all of that stuff. And get ready for that gas and electric bill come January. Keep it simple. So just my thoughts for the day. We'll be back tomorrow. My name's Donnie Glover. Do check out bemorenews.com. You check out our big brother here, Dr. Tyrone Taborn. We will be over in D.C. February 3rd. We have a huge event coming up. Can't wait to tell you more about it. February 3rd at the Omni Shoreham Hotel in Washington, D.C. This will be one of our first, the 20th anniversary lasts for a year. So we'll be doing an event in February. Maybe a couple more events celebrating the 20th. It's a big deal for me. 20 years. And it's a big deal to some of our supporters. We got a lot of love and encouragement. And that's greatly appreciated. So we want to show our gratitude and present some events that we have not done before in some places we haven't been before. But we are getting, here in the city of Baltimore, this is 2022, January 23, the mayor's race is official. Because we want to know what's going on. And we don't want lip service. We want action. We're tired of hearing people. Personally, I'm tired of people blaming Hogan for stuff. Now the Democrats got it. We're going to see what they do with it. We're going to see what kind of leadership we're going to get. Now, I don't need a leadership that's on social media every day. I need leadership that's getting stuff done. I want to see these schools fixed. There's no reason why we don't have heat. I mean, Poly and City, kids got coats on. You people call yourself leaders? Sit your ass down. My name's Donnie Glover. Have a beautiful day. Good morning, world.